each other. Thank you very much. So this session, I hope to make it interactively. We're going to have open mic. So can I hear some sounds, please? Please open your mic and have a mic test. Come on. Can I hear some voices?
Hi.
Morning, everyone.
Morning. Yeah, so now it makes me not feeling alone. Thank you very much.
Assalamualaikum.
Morning, everyone. Thank you. So as all of you know, I think many of you here, I bet many of you have already tried ChatGPT. But if this is something new to you, fret not. We have many people around who will be able to share their tips, and let's use this session to exchange, make new friends, and in this we would be able to learn from each other. And that's all what knowledge is all about, right? We have knowledge and then we serve. I am really hopeful that my internet connection is gonna be kind to me. If I am too fast in my session, this there you go. I think I was disconnected for a bit. Doesn't matter. Okay, I'm back. So if I'm too fast or whatever, please slow me down. All right. Okay, now it's coming. Let me hide this floating panel. Right. Okay. So ChatGPT, friend or foe? Whether it's going to be our friend or whether it's going to be foe, let's look at it together. I'm Nurfadhlina Mohd Sharef. I'm from the Faculty of Computer Science and Information Technology here in Universiti Putra, Malaysia. I'm also currently serving at the Center for Academic Development as the Deputy Director in Innovation and Teaching and Learning. I purposely put this up just to, maybe some people would say, why this person is talking about ChatGPT? Is it valid? So nowadays, fake information is all around, but I'm trying to use this platform for us to exchange tips. And if there are things that I don't know, I would welcome friends to share your thoughts. Or if we don't know, let's refer to ChatGPT to give us our answers, right? Even World Economic Forum said that generative AI, well, you have to be mindful that ChatGPT is an example of generative AI application. So World Economic Forum said generative AI is gonna be a game changer for society and industry, and both whoever need to be ready for it. So this means that there would be more generative AI applications upcoming. Let us do this activity together. Let us try to gather and use this activity. I would like to welcome you all to let's go to menti.com. Let's go to menti.com and enter this code, please. Would you enter this code 5352 and 3065. The code could not be found. Wait, I might have made it invalid. Let me go to my Mentimeter first, and then I present this again. 5352 3065. Can anyone access it, please? 5352 3065 could not be found. Give me a minute, yeah. I need to do this troubleshooting why it suddenly cannot and then disappear. Okay, hang on a minute, please. Sorry for the trouble. May I know where you're from? Let's use the chat to tell the institutions that you're from. Yeah, I know. Sorry for this trouble. I'm going to execute it again and generate this. Okay, we have a new code, guys. This code, this time the code is 4551 4551 4598. Okay, I bet this time it will work. Can you access it, everyone, please? Can I see you in Mentimeter? Please go to www.menti.com. If you don't have any account, then please feel free to use your Google. If you have any question, please ask me. Right, thank you. From UTHM, welcome. We have people from UTHM. I'd like to welcome my friends from UPM. Thank you for staying around. Hello, Dr. Abdul Rahim from OpenU. We also have people from UUM. Thank you, Mr. Lari, for sharing that link and code. And Aimi Hussein. We have people from UPMKB. Welcome, welcome. Let's look at this. Rank how useful is ChatGPT to you? How have you used ChatGPT to you? And which one is the most useful to you? Let's use this survey to know about how each other is benefiting from ChatGPT today. Okay. Four, 551, 4598. And when you submit, okay. So we're still at the first page. So after you've done, please click submit. And then it will take you to the next question. There are 3 questions in this Mentimeter. The second question you would be able to see is type the issue that you feel ChatGPT will cause. Let's look at this. What do you think would be the issues that ChatGPT will cause? And then you can go to the third question. Right. Thank you for your responses. I'm still waiting for you. Hopefully you'll take time to go to the menti.com. Enter this code. It's 4551 4598. Thank you for your participation. All right, let us reveal the responses. Let's look at the first one. Rank how useful is ChatGPT to you? So based on what you have responded, many of you said that teaching preparation is the most useful. Okay, so I think this would really reflect wonderfully the group of audience that we have. Many of us are educators. Although you don't have a formal title as an educator, I believe that many of you done some roles of educating others. You're contributing and playing your own fantastic role and function. So based on this ChatGPT, most people use it for teaching preparation. And then people talk about research ideas as well. Get ChatGPT to give you some research ideas. Even postgraduate students are benefiting a lot from this. And then even we use it for writing assistant. Yes.
Sorry to interject. The result is not appear in the screen.
Oh, really?
Just checking. Yeah.
Thank you. For is it now showing?
Nope, it's still on the question.
Still on the question.
On the question slide.
Question slide. How about now?
Nope.
Still no. Okay. Now?
It's still on the first question. The question. Rank how useful is ChatGPT.
Yes, I'm still showing the first one actually. I'm still at the first one.
Okay, so the result is not there, right?
This is already the result, the ranking. The first rank is teaching preparation. People use ChatGPT for teaching preparation the most, followed by research ideas and writing assistant, as well as content generation. Thank you very much.
Right. Sorry the interruption. Okay.
But thank you for also responding. Right. Let's look at this one. This is the second question. The question was about how you feel about ChatGPT. Oh, okay. Trouble to all, plagiarism. worry that students use it to do FYP. It's subjective. Very human-like. It is awesome. Discourage students' critical thinking and disrupt their development. Thank you for the sharing. Generation worry that we will have a generation that doesn't think critically. So hopefully this will be the items that we would discuss soon. Making students think lesser and worse. Students use it for assignments. Well, there are countries which have banned, countries that have schools that have banned ChatGPT usage. So hopefully we will be able to discuss about this as well. Reduce time to do searching. So depending on how you look at it, positively or negatively. Plagiarism. So many people input about plagiarism and copycats. False fact is also possible. Easy to copy paste. And people have written about, I don't know what to think of Phil anymore, as ChatGPT may think of Phil on behalf of me. Oh, you should be more creative and critical with the help of ChatGPT. Let's look at the next one. The next responses was about this. How do you use ChatGPT? Content preparation, analyzing my data, research idea, enhanced teaching and learning, and general research to identify plagiarism. Yes, yeah. Last night, I found a news that ChatGPT has released a tool for it to detect whether the writing is written by AI. So try to anticipate many more magics gonna come on our way. Right, thank you very much for the responses to the Mentimeter. Now let us do this part. Let us do a bit of warm up. Let's play with the tool. Go to the chat GPT. If it is your first time, I know it's going to be easy for you. But if it is if it is not your first time, it's going to be something common to you. So you might want to keep on rephrasing what you have posted. If it is your first time, I would like to invite everybody. So let's test this together. Go to chat.openai.com. So let me type it out at the chat to ease you. HTTPS chat.openai.com. When you click that, I am hopeful that it's going to be able to entertain us at the moment, because as you see, from time to time, we would get some traffic info. So it's loading now. Hopefully everybody can connect it. And this is the first page that usually comes out, the examples. So the ChatGPT introduced itself by telling how you can use it, and then what are their capabilities, and what is its limitations. So I have created some steps for you to do here. So let us do this as a common activity. So after that, we can discuss. Let us do this together. Ask ChatGPT to create a lesson plan for a topic. And then you specify what you want, specify that you want to conduct group work among students. So let us do this step by step. Go to ChatGPT, ask to create a lesson plan for a topic. I'm going to pose a question. For example, I'll say, create a lesson plan for a topic in a course that I teach. Okay, one of the topics that I teach is on graph algorithm. I teach algorithm design and analysis. And in that course, we also have a component on AI. So we put create a lesson plan on graph algorithm. So please feel free to change this part with your specific topic. Yeah, create a lesson plan on a topic that you have done from time to time. So hopefully after this, we can discuss about how you have used ChatGPT to get a lesson plan on yourself for your own teaching. So you would also observe that from time to time, ChatGPT gives responses quite differently. So this is part of its cleverness, the magic that this ChatGPT can do. So look at how detailed it is. introduction to graph algorithms. Possible objective for this topic would be how to define a graph and what its components. So you can ask it to stop generating, but it's fair for us to wait until the end. And usually after it has finished generating, then we can copy what it has written to us. And before that, make sure that you filter what it has written. So this is where we have to use our human intelligence to be able to check whether the artificial intelligence have be able to deliver what it is expected to do. Well, now keep on looking on the lesson plan that it has generated for you. Let us interact. May I know what are the topics that you have asked ChatGPT to generate for you? Let's use chat or feel free to open your mic. What are you asking it to do now? Can I hear from you, please? Anyone? Are you busy in ChatGPT? Still typing? We have Dr. Ferris de Costa teaching financial communication for university students. Good. Oh, asking about some people. This is also something that is going to be fun for us to test out. I never search about myself, but would be fun to do it. We have people from marine area. Welcome, Dr. Michelle Su. All right, so it has finished generating for me. This is quite detailed, I would say. It even asked me to break down the lesson indirectly as an educator. From the days that I begin to use it since its first release on 30th November, I learned a lot from it, trying to check back whether my pedagogy is good and correct and how I can improve. So this is the first round, create a lesson plan. Now, let us do and ask something deeper. Specify that you want to conduct group work among students. And maybe if you want to specify further, you want the student to self-learn, what needs to be changed. So I want to conduct group activities. How? So you can put in a short question, long question. Look at this. ChatGPT can become our buddy educator. I think this is part of the thing that I enjoy about it. And it's so clever that it helps me, like what our friends have responded in Mentimeter earlier. It reduced our time to search. Many people have said that it maybe also reduce our critical thinking, but depending on the side of the glass or the side of the issue that you want to look at, it also helps us to keep on learning based on what it's generating. Don't you think? Now, you may want to specify further what tips to give the students for them to complete work and ask it to generate question about the topic. Okay, so these are the ways how you can use ChatGPT in teaching and learning. Here are some questions related to group activities in the lesson plan. Okay, if we look at this, now I would think that it has deviated because I asked generic questions about this topic. I think the way that it is relating is about the topic of lesson plan. So this is not really good. You can respond with the thumbs up or thumbs down. Now I want it to, well, I want you to keep now focusing on what I want you to do. Suggest questions or instructions for group work in a lesson about graph algorithms, for example. Graph algorithms is the topic that I have chosen just now. You may want to tune it to your specific area. So while we're doing this, can I listen from you, please? What are you searching? Okay, first time user, Right. If it is first time user, I hope you manage to access it. Go to chat.openai.com/chat, and then it will ask you to log in, and then you can post question inside, or you can post a statement inside. So Dr. Ashraf, can I hear from you, please? Have you able to connect to it?
Yeah, I've connected, but I just wanted to keep you informed that this is the very first time I'm entering in my life. So I might need your sometime support. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. May I know, have you able to post anything and got a response?
Yes, I just said I put word Islamic finance and they started writing automatic. It was surprising. Yeah.
It was surprising to you.
Yeah.
Have you tried to refine your questions inside and give more interaction inside?
I will try now because you call me, so I then
Okay,
trying to
sure. Right,
understand
right.
from
Thank
you.
you. Take your
Thank
time.
you.
Take your time. I'm
Yes.
over excited. Can I hear
It's
from
not.
others, please?
I don't know how to enter back. I always have to search again. In which
Okay.
site I have to go and search? Because
Ah,
then I have to again go to chat box and enter because I don't know where it is in the in my phone.
okay. Can you still see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. If you go to this, I will refresh my page. Let's do this again together, everyone. You can look at my screen. I'm going to demo how to connect it. Go to chat.openai.com/chat. I have put the link in the box. Then some of you might have errors. If that happens, please refresh the page. Sometimes this ChatGPT has overload traffic. So this could be the cause of that to happen. Or you can also try to change your browser. So for those of you who already have this page loaded, you can see this box at the bottom. So let us try to write something. We have somebody who teach English and have posted some language related questions, and those are accurate answers. I want to continue based on what I have posted earlier. I want it to now prepare a rubric for evaluating students students in an assessment about the Dijkstra algorithm. This is the name of algorithm. You can change to whatever your area and just type in something. So those of you who are first time, hopefully you are able to and after you have written, just press enter, or you can go to there was a button at the end, far right of the box. So look at it. It's doing it's responding fantastically. Welcome, friends. I see my friends around. Thank you, Dr. Manraj, Salahuddin. Using the right way, ChatGPT can be a friend to the classroom and amazing tool for our students, not something to be feared. Thank you for the thoughts. I asked ChatGPT to create lesson plan on catalysis and catalytic reactors. Good. Keep on refining and keep on experimenting what ChatGPT can do and what it cannot do, because chances are the students are going to use this. So if you don't know how to use it, or you haven't used it, how would you be able to know whether the students got those things from ChatGPT and copy paste? So let us familiarize ourselves with this tool, try to turn this around to something that is useful for us, and try to celebrate that it is something that can make useful to us. So earlier this morning, I was thinking, how would I welcome people who comes to my session? I also did this morning. On the left side, you can see on the screen here, the script that I asked it to prepare for me on the left. And then, so you can see that its ability is endless, and we can also refine and instruct it to do things that we want. So this is going to help us for copywriting and for preparing things based on our need. We now live in a GPT era. If you go to your app store and you type ChatGPT, you can see variants of AI chatbot inside. Look at the variants. Some of them are free. So try to use this and try to see that there are many apps that can benefit you. So hopefully that will be the next piece of tips before I share with you the outline of my talk today. We are going to go through, hopefully, 4 sessions before the conclusion. I'll talk to you through an introduction about generative AI, and then how we can use ChatGPT in teaching and learning. So hopefully we can hear from you how you have used it before, what could be the opportunities and risks, and how to turn it to be a safe and responsible AI. So let's begin. Introduction to generative AI. ChatGPT. To know what it's for, let us look at this. ChatGPT is a natural language processing tool that uses a type of AI called a GPT-3 model, and this is a response generation-based chatbot. It is to simulate human conversations, similar like other chatbot that is based on AI. There are also chatbot that has strong AI, weak AI. There are categories of AI. I will take you through that. It can also be used for many applications. Companies that use that has customer services, companies that use that focuses on promotional and media are right now also using chatbot to be able to generate suggestions or drafts of their writing. So these are taken from the ChatGPT once you reach it. So let's look at it again. Its capabilities. It is able to remember what we said earlier, but sometimes maybe not necessarily correct and consistent or accurate all the time. This is where human needs to be able to differentiate whether the generated stuff are something valid and something reliable or not. And then it tells us that it may occasionally produce harmful instructions or biased content. Hopefully we will talk about bias as well. And limited knowledge of the world and events after 2021. This is a very useful piece of information. How we can turn this limitation loophole to something that can advantage us. This I got last night. 1 million in 5 days, ChatGPT. And in just 40 days, it has achieved 10 million users. So you imagine if you're accessing it and there is traffic, chances are, I don't know how many millions other people are accessing to it. And it has already actually rolled out a paid version, but right now there are some literatures or some published statement that said it has roll out the paid version. Some say that it may roll out, and there are some added features like priority access to new features that it has. If you look at the graph at the bottom here, this one is published by Statista. Netflix took 3.5 years to be able to reach 1 million users. ChatGPT took only 5 days. ChatGPT-3 took only 5 days. So this is happening like just in a blink of our eyes. Before we go further, it is important and useful for us to check what makes the machines able to think and whether machines can really think. To be able to understand this further, consider these 4 characteristics of intelligence by Prof. Stewart and Prof. Russell. Thinking humanly. Intelligence is defined by the ability of machine to be able to think humanly, think rationally, act humanly, or act rationally. For thinking humanly, it is able to mimic the thought based on the human mind. Thinking rationally, mimicking thought based on logical reasoning. Acting humanly, able to act in a manner that mimics human behavior. Acting rationally, acting in manner to achieve a particular goal. A standard artificial intelligence tool is able to have this any kind of this intelligence, but to certain extent based on its categories, as listed on the right side. Categories of AI can be digested based on these three approaches, whether it's strong AI or weak AI. How to know it's strong AI or weak AI? It is depending on its intelligence level. Whether it's a narrow AI or general AI or super AI, this is depending on its capabilities or function. If it is narrow AI, meaning it is able to do something really specific only. If it is general AI, similar to what you are now experiencing, the ChatGPT, super AI has sentient ability. It is like human and have self-awareness. The category is reactive, limited memory, theory of mind, or self-aware. The magic of ChatGPT comes from this. The first G stands for generative, can generate new text based on the input they receive. And it is able to do that because it has been pre-trained using the transformers model. So both of these are the core to make it able to generate the responses. It is a pre-trained model because it has been trained on billions of tokens based on many resources. And this transformer is the model or how the AI machine is coded for their brain. Generative AI is a game changer that society needs to be ready for. ChatGPT is an example of text-based generative AI. We also have DALL-E, which is the generative image, and this is where we have issues, if you have heard before, about fake image being generated. So DALL-E have that ability. And Webids, which is a video based generative AI, it can create short form video online in minutes. And for speech, we have Replica Studios, able to be the speech synthesis and also able to speak on behalf whatever that you enter, then it's able, or whatever that in the image that you have, able to create the speech. And audio, you can create your own songs and compositions. Now, let's take a minute to think about the potential risks that this may happen. We will discuss that further. But before we do that, I would like to take the opportunity to introduce to you about the back end of ChatGPT. There are 3 steps that have been used by ChatGPT to be able to be its ChatGPT 3 today. The first step is called supervised fine-tune step. The second step is mimicking human preferences, which is an iterative step that is followed by the proximal policy optimization. So these 2 processes are iterative steps. In the first step, what it does, it is a supervised technique, meaning there are huge amounts, billions of tokens that has been fed to the model to be able to create this supervised fine-tune model, SFT. Then this SFT model is then combined with the second step, which is by using reinforcement learning, reinforcement model, which it learns further when you give it. So you can imagine during the development, there are human coders, and these people are like the most, I have like the most intelligent PhD level data scientists in the world that has gathered around. So imagine a group of people sitting and trying to build the model, the machine. And after that, going to step 3, they optimize further what they have done in step 2. They gave more prompts, more teaching. And this time, it sets this policy. And because of this policy, what we see as the output nowadays has good sentence created, and it is complying to suitable grammar. This figure is more technical, but this is to illustrate to you the top left here. The GPT base is consisted of the general public knowledge. It has 175 billion parameters. Imagine the neurons in our brain. This is how it looks like at the back end of ChatGPT. And there are also industry and task-specific knowledge that have been provided to train the model. And the dataset in total was based on 499 billion tokens. Yesterday, when I used ChatGPT, I saw one prompt saying that we have updated ChatGPT with knowledge in we refined the model in mathematics and something else. So probably this number of tokens has now increased further. On the right side, you can see how this transformer, this on the right side is part of the analogy that you can look at the top left figure. Now, done with some techniques, it is just so that you know what ChatGPT is made of. Before this, we had one hype on TikTok. And if you're familiar or if you really like TikTok, you use many applications inside. And one of it is face change. This face change app is also a generative AI-based apps. So it's not new. And people use this to create, use the filters for us to create funny looks just for entertainment. Now, let us, please open your mic and maybe you can share how have you used ChatGPT? What is your observations? Have you found any pitfalls? I would like to listen to you and let us share the thoughts from each other. Come on. Can I hear from you, please? Anyone to start?
I'm worried, Prof, that people will ask ChatGPT to do the work and they submit the whole work from them. That's what I'm worried. Thank you.
Thank you. I worry that too. And I think it's a valid concern. How about others? Do you face this issue as well? Is there something worrying you?
Dr. Fadhlina, I'm in here.
Hi, Prof.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. Thank you. I think also my first time, this this AI, myself also AI, I mean Ismail also. Okay, I think just now Dr. Ashraf, right, commented on the AI, For me, I think of course, now with a new technology, of the AI, I think like borderless lah. I think maybe our teaching and learning approach might be different. Yeah, what our minister said, because most probably maybe our student might not come to the campus, maybe 4 years during the program, maybe just 2 or 3 years will be at home, and then only 1 year will be in the campus. I think I also shared with Dr. Fat on the article, one article article on this AI about the maybe most of the people will use this for the to prepare the article for publication for manuscript. But again, maybe we need for the publisher or the editor need to ask the author to mention maybe in the material and method what the software they use. But again, what I think I agree with the fact because we have to be like honest honesty in our when we prepare the paper. I think we have to honest because we have to make sure because sometimes the AI, again, we have to depend on our human, because we know sometimes when the student prepare using this, sometimes they copy and paste, as a lecturer, experienced lecturer, whether the student copy or paste. I think because we cannot stop this technology, because our teaching and learning approach in future might be different. I think we as as a lecturers, as an academician, I think we have to work work in the team, how to solve this kind of problem. Because again, I'm very happy to listen this talk by the Fat. Thank you, the Fat.
Thank you very much, Prof. Those are really valuable, wise thoughts, especially to the end, Prof. Prof AI,
Yeah,
Prof.
Prof. AI.
Prof AI. We need to work in a team to solve this, to formulate how we can use generative AI or any AI or any technology even responsibly and safe, because AI is not new. We need to anticipate more disruptions to come. If you search about AI under UNESCO or under UNICEF, they have produced guidelines, ethical guidelines on how to govern AI and what people need to know about AI. So hopefully this session would be one of the ways for us to try to introduce and highlight the potential pitfalls, the potential risks, the potential role changing. I think this is one of the most important points that Prof and also our friend earlier have highlighted. We have concern to turn this around, honesty and be human. For us to differentiate ourselves from those machines is for us to stay human. What is the best value that we have as a human? So this is what we need to be able to instill to our students. So that is my offered thoughts. We also have people sharing their thoughts in the chat. Let's look at it together. We have Mr. or Dr. Tantohi from Bintulu. He used it to prepare lesson plan, assessment, to identify experts, companies or agencies in the field of study. Oh, good tips. I never used that before. And he did literature review on the topic of interest. But I think for literature review, there is no reference in something that is generated. I might be wrong. I would like to hear from you, Dr. Tan. Pitfalls is that some information may be not accurate. So this is where, as a human, we need to be able to differentiate and guide and tell our students, when you are using these apps, there are potential pitfalls. You should not be just blindly copy and paste. Similar like when they are using Google as a tool, they need to be able to check back what they have written, because the borderline is that when we are generating or producing or publishing or submitting something, we need to be able to be responsible for it. You need to be able to be the person who can tell that the information that I have submitted and I have used is valid. That is the most valuable guide that we can give to our students, because we don't want to produce a generation who just like to copy paste and not think critically. So in this session, we will look at how to turn this around and how to make sure that our session would be still something relevant, because we don't want ourselves to be replaced by AI as well. Not to be replaced. We need to change our role. So how to define the new roles? Experts and companies given, however, they are sometimes not accurate. Literature suggested are unsearchable, yes, through other platforms. Now that ChatGPT can provide tailored answers, so the Ministry of Education and other authorities may have to reformat how to grade students' assignments. Good. This will be our integral discussion today. What we need to change to be able to adapt to this tech. Yeah, people agree the language model doesn't have human emotions, so it cannot offer a personal touch. Well, although one of the most highlight now is that ChatGPT can give personalized response, but personalized response, yet it is not sentient. It is not aware of the environment. It does not know how the students feel. Dr. Azrina have seen that ChatGPT being used
Dan dia punya CPU
used as
Tajuk dia pun
the
sebenarnya
co-author. Yes, Dr. Azrina, you
Yeah,
were saying something.
yeah.
Was it you?
Okay, I'm Azrina. It's just that recently I saw in one of the Facebook group lah, they mentioned about a paper being published and with a GPT as the one of the co-author. So I'm not sure about the ethical issue of this lah, whether it is valid or not, but the paper was published under Elsevier.
Thank you. I have also read somewhere else that that people journal have informed and some journals have made announcement that they ban usage of ChatGPT in papers that is submitted to them. Some journals say it is fine, but you have to make a disclaimer that you're using ChatGPT as a co-author. So depending on where you submit. But I really like this analogy offered by our friend Dr. Tan. ChatGPT is a tool. Similar to washing machine, not everything out from it is clean. We need to still verify it on our end. This is really correct. We have somebody who teaches English here, Dr. Pushpa from CALC, UPM. I often find my students whipping out their phone the moment they are asked questions without even thinking first. And I think in your case, Dr. Pushpa, would you want to elaborate further? These students for English courses especially, you want the students to be able to digest, think, express. You want to offer some thoughts?
Hi, morning. Yeah, just a
Morning.
simple question about, how to use a particular grammar item, or if they're writing an essay, or if they are speaking about a topic, just asking them general question to try and generate ideas from them. But they don't take, the first instance is not used to think about the potential answers from their background knowledge, but they're very quick to taking out their phone and going on Google to find the answer. So although ChatGPT is good and it's amazing what it does, I just worry about whether our students will become overly dependent on tools like this and stop thinking.
Correct. And this is when I think it is quite normal. And imagine the situation of the students, because they could be lazy, they could be actually having well, maybe it is now becoming a bad habit also for the students to not think at all and just take because they want to refer. And some of them may be actually not confident or not sure. They wanted to respond directly, but they're just not sure. So we don't want to also have these generations of people who are not sure have to depend on the machine to tell them that they are correct or not. So how to tweak this would be to have specific forms of assessments that can allow us to be able to measure what they need to be measured, and at the same time how to prepare them. So this is the best compass or to navigate their way through life. We have some thoughts here. Can ChatGPT be used for data analysis? Cannot be used, yeah? Oh, good to know. Only basic calculation so far. All right. And what else here? Software to detect ChatGPT plagiarism. I had a friend before. Is Dr. Salahuddin around? Or Dr. Manraj, can you please share? Or even Dr. Rizal? Some of these friends previously, they have shared with me. We have a group of people who are in innovation in teaching and learning. They shared that there are already tracker of content that AI is generating, the tracker. Please share the link, or you want to share out? Please, Dr. Salah.
Oh yeah. Thank you, Dr. Fad. There are a few tools out there that detect whether an essay or an article is AI generated. I think the popular one right now is called GPT-0. GPT-0, GPT-0. And the way it detects that is it detects two things. One is called perplexity, and the other one is called burstiness. Perplexity is the complexity of the words, the sentences and everything lah. And usually, if you notice that AI generated essays are usually very mundane, it's boring, it sounds correct, but well, it's not interesting. And the other one is burstiness. I think it's about how when we human write things, we have what we call this randomness, yeah. And AI doesn't have that. That's one, GPT-0. And there's another one, a paid version called originality.ai. I think that one is being used also.
Nice. Thank you very much. So about perplexity and burstiness, this is where AI can be used. Well, I don't think it's not really fair to say that ChatGPT is created to create harmfulness, but in the community of AI, for regulations nowadays, there are already a group. Well, if you're in ethics committee, please consider this. This is very important, that we have to consider having some checking when we are doing AI, developing an AI, whether that AI could create harm and what are their potential harms. Similar like what ChatGPT have stated, their limitation, but obviously it did not write that it intends to create students who like to plagiarize. But I think our issue is beyond plagiarism. We now worry about the value, whether our students are resilient students, will be able to think critically. So this is a different issue. But talking about the approach under ChatGPT for perplexity and burstiness, this is where going back to look to be able, I think this will also relate to people who are in communication area, like our friend Dr. Puspa earlier, to look back at the quality of communication, the expressiveness, the vocabulary being used, the grammar, and so on. So indirectly, this is also why it's important for us educators to familiarize ourselves with ChatGPT, to look at what are the trends, what are the ways that ChatGPT produces. So we'll be able to detect what our students are writing on the way around, and maybe ask them. And I also have some suggestions further, which I would share later, how we can detect and how we can guide the students to use ChatGPT responsibly and safely. In this slide, thank you, Dr. Salah. In this slide, there are 10 example of usage for ChatGPT in teaching and learning. Please feel free to make a snap or whatever. This is based on my earlier experiment with ChatGPT. On the left, so this is about machine learning. Machine learning is one of the techniques under AI. I purposely want to check what is the limitation of ChatGPT, especially for logical reasoning. If you know about machine learning, you will be able to understand deeply. But the point is that I want to show on the left, both answers are correct. If you look at the question that I have posted, which one is the correct answer about machine learning? A, supervised learning requires data for it to learn. B, supervised learning could learn by identifying relationship from data. Both are correct, so I'm fine with it. Now I want to test it further. I want to put trick in my question now. I ask this way, which one is the correct answer about machine learning? A, supervised learning requires data for it to learn. This is the same from my earlier question to it. Then B, supervised learning could learn by clustering patterns in data. Supervised learning is one of the categories of machine learning. And other categories are unsupervised learning and reinforcement learning. Clustering patterns is under unsupervised learning. So technically, B is wrong. A is correct. But ChatGPT could not compute that. Its logic is wrong because it said both A and B are not correct statements. Although it tries to explain, and the explanation is correct. Clustering is a technique used in unsupervised learning. So here, why I explain why it is not correct. Because according to the rules of truth table, yes and no means no. So it should be, which one is the correct answer? Should be only A. But in ChatGPT, the logic is not coded really correctly. Because of that, we as an educator, rather than we asking straightforward fact, which is the lower level of Bloom taxonomy, test the students. Even using multiple choice question, we can tweak. We can try to extract and measure what actually does the student know. Is the student really understanding deeply? So this is an example I would like to offer. Right. I have some more responses. I think instead of thinking about the negative side, we should think critically how the tool helps or support TNL. Thank you very much for offering the thoughts to personalize their learning. Okay. More question. ChatGPT can easily be tricked. I would like to say thank you also to some friends. Some of these I got and took from WhatsApp groups. So my WhatsApp groups, I think last 2-3 weeks, I've been busy with people just joking around, sharing about their new day-to-day activities, using ChatGPT to fill up their time and to also do experiments like this. How much is 2 plus 7? 2 plus 5. 2 plus 5 is equal to 7. Well, my wife says it's 8. 2 plus 5 is actually equal to 7, not 8. It says. It could be possible that your wife made a mistake, said ChatGPT. Then our friend said, my wife is always right. Then ChatGPT apologized. I must have made an error. So you see, there is possibility for us to tweak it, and just imagine, these are also one of the potential risks for if ChatGPT absorb this and learn from it. So at the end, it will go back that the human is the safest reference of knowledge. ChatGPT can also communicate in Bahasa Melayu. Do you know? Yes, try. Ask in your language. Can it communicate in your language? I sometimes like to do gardening, but not all the yields are as fantastically or as expected. So I ask this. My kangkung, tanaman kangkung saya kurus. How to make sure that it will be good? And the questions is not really like proper grammar, whatever. It's just layman question. And it is able to generate response to me. I was really pleased and amazed. Although, if you see, some of it is using hybrid language. Towards the end, I can see tanaman kangkung anda akan tumbuh dengan baik dan hasil panennya akan berkualitas. This is Bahasa Melayu Indonesia, Bahasa Indonesia. So this is how ChatGPT can respond to you. But it's really fantastic. There are also things that it does not cover. Like I asked about this, Educators Digital Competency Framework. UNICEF has released this framework about educators' digital competency. I constantly have a project on preparing online courses about educators' digital competency. So I just want to test it out what ChatGPT knows about it. And I am amazed also to know how honest it is. I'm not aware, but it says politely, I'm not aware, but telling that UNICEF does have a strong focus and explain further. This is where ChatGPT, as being a buddy self-learning, lifelong learning, continuous learning, the part that I like about it. Okay, and ChatGPT also understands dialect, also from my friend. Okay, lagu mana proses nak buat budu? It asks the ChatGPT. ChatGPT able to answer and really clever, giving the recipe. So these are potential things that we can do and use. Can ChatGPT, let us look at the chat now. Can ChatGPT be used for data analysis like regression in the future? Possibly, I don't know. Could be. There can also be other form of generative AI applications, not necessarily just ChatGPT. It doesn't understand Kadazan. Hopefully one day it will, as expected. Okay. Now, before we go deeper on how ChatGPT can be used safely in academia, let us have another open mic session. What is your recommendations? How ChatGPT can be used safely in academia? Anyone?
Doctor, can I ask a question?
Sure.
As for from the understanding, I can understand that if we give students the assignment, let's say, do this assignment 10 page, it's most likely that they will take the help of this kind of application and maybe refine it. So it's not a real hard work for them. I think we cannot give assignment this kind. We have to just give something more face-to-face critical assessment and things so that we know exactly whether they are doing good or not or something like that. Because giving homework is redundant now. They will take the help of other applications and they may not do the hard work. That's what I feel. Sorry about that. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much. Well, you are sharing about this more face-to-face kind of activities, critical thinking activities, having something personal touch. This could be one of the main motivations, very strong and important inspiration why we need to change and do more flipped learning. Ask the students, because you can tell them, well, imagine that you have prepared materials and you know that the students can use the ChatGPT to learn. Ask them to prepare, and during the classroom we can have debate, we can have discussion to do activities, and you assess them during doing that activities. This could be one way of flipping how we do our activity and assessment. Can I hear more tips, please? Come on.
Assalamualaikum, Dr. Fad.
Salam.
Well, I think the best way on using ChatGPT in academia should be in a proctored mode, where we have a lifetime, real lifetime manner. We allow students to use the ChatGPT in front of us as a lecturer, just to monitoring and for the sake of making sure that the information that they receive can be, sort of validated by the lecturer. So that's my 2 cents.
Thank you. It's 2 million cents. Very important and very useful. Any more elaborations?
Dr. Fadlina, can I ask something? Just want to ask I foresee there's a risk here. I mean, even though, let's say, if we have detection software and so on to detect the plagiarism, but students can still paraphrase what they have actually copied from ChatGPT. That means, the plagiarism could be low, but they still take most of the thing from ChatGPT because they just revise the sentencing and so on. So at the end of the day, I mean, they're still copying the work. They are not doing the hard work by themselves. That's my view on this particular serious risk. So any comments from your side to mitigate this risk?
Interesting. Our friend, if you go to the chat, you can see the document being uploaded, a guide prepared by UPM on how to use ChatGPT. Was I disconnected? Where was I? We had a question earlier. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Thank you. I remember your question suddenly, however, I got disconnected. Okay, so the question about we are aware of the risk, well, because we know the students are very resourceful. We can imagine that the students, they maybe take bulat-bulat exactly the question in the assessment, copy, paste, put in the ChatGPT, press enter, copy and put in a document file and use another software, paraphrasing software such as Quillbot. If you haven't used, please download. It's very fantastic. Quillbot, Quillbot. This is free as well, and it can be installed in within your Word. Comes as a plugin. It will paraphrase you, and when the students submit the paraphrase version, you cannot identify these two, correct? So this is where, like our friend offered just now, among the things that we can change is more face-to-face, critical thinking, and personal touch. Dr. Khaize, are you still around? Do you have any more tips on this, please?
Well, to be honest, at the Faculty of Educational Studies, we are mostly social scientists. We are a bit aware of the role of educators these days because of these ChatGPT functions. So we have a lot of debates on how reliable it is, the information given by ChatGPT, but what you have showed just now really impressed us a lot. So I wonder what would happen in the next few years in terms of the role of academics. And
Let's change
how
our role, our role. The
I
typical mindset of what educator can do needs to be changed.
well, that's true.
Thank you very much for the response. We
Dr.
had one document.
Nurfadhlina,
Yeah.
yeah, I have a view that I think this is what they always call disruptive. No disruptive technology. I think this is disruptive to academic world as well. But I think more in a good way rather than a worse way, because I think right now we have to rethink our kind of assessment. The way we probably 20, 30 years ago when we first found out about web engines like Google, and people start talking about, oh my God, they got Google, they can search any information, any facts from Google, what to do with our exams. And then we had this open web, open book exams, and then it's still going on okay. So I think we have to take the same stance like 30 years ago when, I don't know, 40 years ago, when internet was first, available for public and then available for academics. And then we rethought our assessment. And then I think it's time also now to rethink our assessment, whether do we stick with our traditional ones and then ban all kind of, all these modern tools. And then we have to think what would they do without them. And I mean, in their work place later, they will be using it anyway. So yes, that's how I think about this.
Wow, very good. So that comes from an icon in UPM, in teaching and learning. We need to rethink our assessment. Yeah, we need to rethink our assessment, try to do and change, do different assessment differently. We can also do double validation. You just imagine from the submission of documents just now, you can give some portion to the document submitted, but do something on top of it. For example, asking what the students have a session with marks that you can evaluate the students what they understand, or do presentation on top of the submission. So focus back on human power. Focus back on human power. Things that will challenge them beyond just copy pasting. And this kind of authentic assessment that is produced after rethinking what is stable, what is safe, would be able, hopefully, to ensure that we and all academic programs still stay relevant. So this is very important. And we
Hi,
play a very important role, making sure that the students have referred to valid resource and have able to submit something that is valuable, trustable, and something that really match to what they understand. We had some offer of thoughts just now. Come on, can I hear from you, please?
Hi, Doctor. I'm Claire from the music department. I'm glad you mentioned this, and I'm glad everybody talked about alternative assessment. I think one of the ways that we could probably do is actually send our the students out for field work, and that they have to record information that is like organic, that you can't actually recycle from anywhere. Like, for example, going to a concert and reviewing the concert. So in those ways, you can't really copy and paste from that experience. So I think that is one of the ways that, and we can actually get real local knowledge that is more new, rather than recycle and reuse literature from the that has already been published.
Wow,
Thank
I
you.
like that. Yes, putting context, right? Putting context, making sure that the students are fully engaged, really experiential learning happening for them to reflect and express what they know. There was a document just now being uploaded in the chat. I hope Mr. Azli, can you please upload that again? That is a guide that UPM has prepared for us to be able to use ChatGPT. The guide covers how to use it in activity, as well as how to change, rethink, redesign, and making our alternative assessment proof of ChatGPT. Okay, so I think we have done this. And if you look around, you can see, besides the one that Kate has published, look around and even ask ChatGPT how to make your assessment proof. There are people who have published guides like this one, 20 ways to use ChatGPT in the classroom, debate the board, grade the board. So imagine having this kind of activities. You just imagine you have lessons, and in that lesson, you ask your student to use ChatGPT. So make them feel that it is something legit. Ask them to use ChatGPT. Ask them to ask ChatGPT or question ChatGPT about the topic that you are teaching. And from there, ask your student to explain their observation and ask them to listen to each other. So this is one way to flip the learning, rather than we just stay as the normal, common, traditional way of didactic teaching. Rather than rote learning, we tell the students we should create activities that allow the students to experience learning, because experiential learning is the best way to learn. And the second step for us to create assessments that is authentic, redesign our assessment to be able to measure and be able to, again, we need to use ChatGPT to empower us, for us to guide our students to be useful, valuable, because we don't want our generation to be generation that just like to copy and paste. So it is our role back to be able to adapt, redesign, rethink how we teach. We know that ChatGPT is now becoming a threat or disruption to the world of academia. You just imagine the students will go out and they will work, and they do we want to produce students who can only function at work by using any GPT application compared to their peers who are more critical thinking, fast thinking, not necessarily having to wait on the machine to be able to produce something? So it is our role back. This is our responsibility. It is our job to make sure that we able to educate. So ChatGPT cannot take us out. So this is another tips from ChatGPT. I think Dr. Puspa would like this. Maybe you have found it already. People have suggested how to use ChatGPT in communication classes like English class, and communication is in many kinds of courses. So this could be our opportunity to prepare students that know how to write well, because sometimes when students submit to us, oh, we are dizzy to see their quality of writing. At least now we can set a standard. Well, you can use ChatGPT, it's fine. But make sure the gist of the knowledge, C4, C5, even C6, ask them to create something useful, or focus on more psychomotor, like offered by Dr. Claire just now. Take them outside, give them something hands-on. From that hands-on, it will be personalized to them, contextual, current, and if you remember the limitation of ChatGPT, it cannot answer anything beyond year 2020. What more having something that is localized to our geographical area? Look at this guide. How to embrace ChatGPT in the activities. First, you must have a discussion on the rules of its usage. You must practice retrieval and other memorization activities. If you don't do this kind of memorization activities, and make sure that in that activity, you refer to something specific, certain time, it can be topic or activities or issues that the students or have been discussed earlier in the class. So this way they cannot refer to ChatGPT, correct? And create more collaborative and discussion activities. So now they can look up for answers, but to carry on the conversation, because they need to communicate with each other, they have to think and they have to adapt whatever they get from the ChatGPT. And we want to prepare students who are able to function in a community. Ask the students to recap the discussion. Ask them to reflect about it. This is very hard to do with a bot. Emphasize experiential learning and engage students in personalized elaboration. Ask them to demonstrate what they have learned. Ask them to bring ideas, evidence, perspectives, data from contemporary or personal events, something recent, something yesterday, something that is a world-class problem, a real-life problem, and conduct activity that requires the students to use ChatGPT to answer questions and experiment to identify questions that it cannot be answered. This way, your student will really master the topic, inshallah. The next one, some guides to embrace ChatGPT in assessment. You need to rethink, review your assessment. Avoid straightforward questions or simple facts. You need to ask current, complex, open, real-world problem. Ask contextual issue. Be empowered with AI. You yourself can use AI to personalize or draft a unique case study for each student. And then you ask your students, when they do something, ask them to critique themselves, put reflection, how they need to improve. Then they will be aware of where they are, what they know, what they don't know. And then try different assessment types that are more immune to AI, like figurative related, oral assessment, live demonstration. Also, consider staging assessments. Ask the students to submit drafts. And this is when doing the activities, the drafts should be discussed. Then it will be flipped classroom. And use ChatGPT to draft questions with possible answers and feedback setting. You take this and put in your Moodle so the students can use it as a quiz. And don't forget, ChatGPT can create a rubric. Then you can also refine from it. ChatGPT is very clever, it's very fresh, it's very new. But besides ChatGPT, there are also other chatbots like Eliza. This was the first chatbot. Then Cleverbot also available. And this one is Cookie. If I'm not mistaken, the name is Cookie. But if you look at this, now why I put this up is to tell you, in the AI world, people have tried to come up with technologies that can benefit human. So the trouble that they have gone through to create ChatGPT 3, it's going to be wasted. But it's our job as human to make a good decision. What could be the opportunities and risks? Because AI in education is not new. People who teach communication can benefit from many AI-based applications like ELSA. And even if you think about it, ChatGPT is a language. It's a large language model. It is very good to be used in teaching communication related. If you go to ELSA, try ELSA. ELSA can even test the pronunciation of the student. And Quillbot, I mentioned Quillbot earlier. Quillbot is very useful for us in doing our work. To paraphrase, Turnitin, this plagiarism detector, we have used it for many years. It is AI based, but it is not generative AI, but it is narrow AI. Squirrel AI Learning. This is a company in China, a company that focuses on tuition. In Malaysia, we have Pandai Student Berhad, a company that has apps focusing on preparing students through assessments and also personalized activity. Excuse me. There are also many kinds of other chatbots like Ask Friend, Mondly, Buoy, Communicate. Now, those are the opportunities. Let us discuss about the risk. You can see here from year 2014 until year 2022. In year 2014, firstly, when AI was used in image processing, image recognition, the processing was limited to black and white images. Then from there, it is able to do segmentation. So that is why you see that the image is a bit distorted. The regeneration of the image is not accurate. And this is closely related to the technology that we have at our home, our monitor, all the vision technology. But in year 2021, in year 2022, AI is able now to generate image with prompt of text. And if you have heard about fake images, DALL-E, if you go to DALL-E, here, I will give the link. DALL-E, if you want to try. DALL-E is able to generate also images based on the text. So imagine, AI will not stop. And the OpenAI, which is not, OpenAI is not by Google. Google's AI is called Mina. And I search, and many people also have commented, Mina is not released for public. And what it does is like this. It is able to converse. But ChatGPT 3 is really wonderful. And even Meta's Galactica, this is another chatbot, which was to auto-generate research papers. Auto-generate research papers. We already had this threat for so long. But this apps was taken down after less than 3 days because community found it was producing incorrect results. So what this means, as a researcher, what do? We produce something meaningful, something valuable. And this AI has brought also new challenges to life. Even there was a campaign, hire a human campaign, hire a human to celebrate the work of illustrators, people in arts, because now we just think AI can now generate song, can now generate image, can now generate video, can now generate speech, can now auto-write all the social media messages, promotions. So we don't want that the students that we produce never get a job. Even not a student, touch wood, maybe members of our family. We know, we have to know, don't put it under the carpet. Like Prof Amin said just now, we need to work in a team to identify what could be the issues. raise these issues, pass it to suitable governing unit like the ethics or like the information office, that there are possibilities that generative AI could be generating false and misleading content. We know that it is bringing disruption to labor market. So how the government or how the education ministry is now attending to this challenge? What could be the ethical concerns? Could it be that all that is generated now, well, we know that it is generated from some training. So this training that the AI use is scraped from the internet. But these are done without seeking consent from a living artist, or could be work that's still under copyright. But the AI got it, become clever by learning from other people's work, but not paying. This is another ethical concern. Similar to authenticity and ownership. When our students submit something, or when someone generate an art using this AI, could it be considered as a valid submission? Is it authentic? Can we consider that person accountable for what they have produced? Our friend Dr. Salahuddin just now mentioned about perplexity. So these evaluation metrics are relevant to the reliability of the intelligence. So how much can we depend on it? So these are the issues that I wish to take you to my, I think this is the last section. We are now 11. Okay, even the founder of Gmail claims that ChatGPT possibly can kill Google in 2 years' time. Google may be only a year or two away from total disruption. AI will now eliminate the search engine result page, which is where they make most of their money. Why? Because when you do the searching, and next to it, there are images, right? And there are advertisements, and that is how Google make their money. Even if Google catch up on AI, they can't fully deploy it without destroying the most valuable part of their business. So you see now the disruption by one technology is stirring another giant technological company. And our friend just now has shared about GPT-0, but this one was yesterday. ChatGPT creator OpenAI has released a tool to detect text written by AI. I have not actually found that. I'm not sure whether this ChatGPT-0 is released by OpenAI. Can you help me, Dr. Salahuddin? Are you still around?
Yes, I'm still around.
Is GPT-0 by OpenAI?
No, it's actually independently made by, I think, an MIT student.
Okay, all right. So hopefully we can find this one, because chances are the owner created something that can detect its own skin, its own color. So that will be our next possible hype of technology. Okay, now this section, the last section of my session today. Thank you very much, everyone, for still sitting around. Hopefully you are making yourself comfortable, taking some fruits or drinks. Let us take time to think how to humanize and democratize AI for a fair and responsible AI, especially for education. At the same time, and this guide is not produced by me, this guide is produced by UNESCO. And UNESCO wants everyone to think about it. How can AI be leveraged to enhance education? How can AI be best exploited for the common good in education? How to ensure the ethical, inclusive, and equitable use in education? How can education prepare humans to live and work with AI? This, my friends, is our new task. Our superhero educator friend, our new task. Even Gartner expects that AI will continue to rise. By 2030, a major blockbuster film will be released with 90% of the film generated by AI. In 2022, not yet, 0%. But before that, 2025, 30% of outbound marketing messages will be synthetically generated, up from 2% in 2022. People have already used AI in many kinds of business. Besides in media or communication related companies, generative AI is benefiting drug design, material science, chip design. So imagine, chip design. We want to have good wearable sensors, intelligent wearable sensors. Generative AI could help that. Synthetic data, like what we are now trying to maybe use, we can try to use ChatGPT to synthesize some data we can use for us to learn and develop models out of it. And generative AI can also be used to design some parts. Prepare for disruptions. So what needs to be done is regulations and appropriate requirements on the AI. As a human, we play a role to tell what the AI should do, what it shouldn't do. And we need to be able to understand what is inside. And we need to get appropriate assurance. We ought to get that. That is our right. So how to ensure a safe and responsible AI? Even OpenAI are self-governing the space through limited release strategies. They monitor their use of models and they control their API. So if you are in AI companies or somehow you become the advisor or contribute to any AI development, please make sure that you have permission to use the generated image or whatever content that you're using. Please practice good ethics. This one, under UNESCO. UNESCO tells us that the world citizens need to understand what the impact of AI might be, what AI can and cannot do. And this was released before ChatGPT was out, yeah? When AI is useful, when its use should be questioned, and how it might be steered for the public good. Personally, I'm hopeful that ChatGPT wouldn't be banned in Malaysia. I find that there are many useful advantages that I can benefit from it. But to make sure that everyone can use the generative AI or even any kind of AI safely, you need to achieve some level of competency, including knowledge, understanding, skills, and value orientation. You need to have AI literacy. UNESCO has also published this guide for policymakers. Steer AI and education policy development and practices towards protecting human rights and equipping people with the values and skills needed for sustainable development and effective human-machine collaboration in life. Our life nowadays, we live with human. We live with machine. The human lives with machine. When we open our eyes, where is our hand? We reach our one hand, reach the phone, one hand, reach the spouse. We live with a machine. So we have to ensure that the AI is human controlled. It is created in ethical, non-discriminatory, equitable, transparent, and auditable manner. Monitor and evaluate the impact. Equitable. In AI, there is this rise issue about bias in AI. So this issue of bias in AI tells that the algorithm needs to be able to be trained considering diversity. So that it will have human values. And there are also other guidelines listed by UNESCO, as in my slide here. Foster broad corporate and civic responsibility, ensure that people remain at the core of education as an implicit part of technology design. Protect against automating tasks without identifying and compensating for the values of current practices. Very important. In Malaysia, we have this roadmap on artificial intelligence implementation. And this is under Mohd. Please feel free to search AI roadmap. In the AI roadmap, you can see some strategies that AI is focusing. This roadmap was released in 2021. In that roadmap, there is a section about the principles for responsible AI. May I ask if Prof lupa nama dia. Prof from UTM? Prof, give me a minute. Are you here, Prof? Do you want to offer some information? Prof Rose? I think Prof Rose is not here. Okay. In this roadmap, principles for responsible AI have stated that fairness, reliability, safety and control, privacy and security, inclusiveness, transparency, accountability, and pursuit of human benefit and happiness. In MOSTI, there is a unit that has been formed recently under called AI and Blockchain Unit. And this will be the governance body in Malaysia to track AI that is produced. If you are interested to know more about AI and other technology for future learning, please feel free to download and visit this playbook to learn further and look at how AI can be used in education. I'm now at the end of my session. Before I go to the takeaway, I would like to invite anyone who wants to offer some final thoughts. Please feel free. Yes,
Dr. Dr. Fadhlina, can I just ask and possibly comment something like I written in a chat that if ChatGPT can be used for data, all sorts of data analysis in the future, I think this will be a game changer. I'm looking forward to that. When do you think this will happen?
I'm not a fortune teller. I'm not a fortune teller. But all that I can tell you is that if you search about AutoML, I think AutoML has already been around for more than 5 years. So what this AutoML does is that you prepare your data set and you put it in the editor like RapidMiner. Even for Weka, you need to do some tuning. So there are no coding, machine learning development tools, and there are tools that require you to do programming. But the point is that under the move of democratizing AI, like you said, if data analysis is automatically inside this generative AI, you just imagine the power will be beyond the recommender system like Spotify, Netflix that you have nowadays. Imagine that there is a sentient robot that can, so now what it will do is that it will instruct you, and this is what we don't want to happen, hopefully, or if it is there, we still need to be human to be able to stay ahead of it. It will be able to recommend to you what is best for you, tell you what to do at that certain time, but the recommendation is very high level such that the decision is based on optimizing not only you, but other members in the community. But this all is in what is the word? I lost the word. In a stance to try to make the world as an optimized world. So when it will happen, AutoML is already there. AutoML is now available in Power BI. Even Power BI is used by many people who are Microsoft users. When it will be automatically available, the combination, I don't know. I really don't know.
What is the link for AutoML? The web link.
If you search about AutoML or if you search Power BI Premium, then you can see that AutoML is available. AutoML can be in the form of plugin and can also be, right now, mainly it is in the form of plugin and used in other apps. If you are interested to build machine learning models without coding, you can use it. Or if you have heard about Microsoft Azure, which is a tool for us to create the models. And you can also use RapidMiner Go. So easy for you to develop the model. But again, when you use those kinds of AutoML, it is up until model development, but not deployment such that people can immediately use it. Right now, not yet there. When? I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not a fortune teller, but some info that I can respond is there.
And also, when will ChatGPT embrace deep learning, where it continuously update itself with new info and data? This is also will be a game changer.
The term deep learning
That means it
nowadays,
learn by itself. You see.
yeah, the term deep learning nowadays can have many meaning. In education, deep learning means, like you said, it is able to keep on learning, able to really understand, because ChatGPT is language generative model, language generation model. It is able to process sentences, but for it to keep on learning in machine learning, the term is active learning. Keep on
Okay,
learning.
active learning. Yeah, active
For
learning.
an education, active learning means that you are active, you're using some tools, but in machine learning, we call it active learning. So if you notice, I shared earlier, yesterday, I found when I opened ChatGPT, it's written that it has been recently updated.
But the
Recently
one is
updated.
people put inside, you see. But what I mean is that it learned by itself, like an organism, like a species, you know.
So this would be the self-aware bots related to the sentient. For it to be there, I think, well, just try to think about it. If it is there, to be able to, do we really want to have a robot that is able to monitor us 24 hours, whatever that we do? Who would pay for that? So what would be the ethical issues in that? So in AI, these two issues are still under a lot of debate, although there is no worldwide governed body that tell, well, this company, you cannot release this product. There is no such company or no such body that does that. However, it is possible, but for it to reach that stage, I think it will be something paid and a lot of investment need to be there. In my slides earlier, I showed that for ChatGPT to reach what it is now it is version ChatGPT 3. It was developed from ChatGPT 2. I don't remember what year. Anyone, if you can help me, how long was it from ChatGPT 2 to ChatGPT 3? For it to reach that, it was trained on many information, a lot of information, billions, 449 just now. So right now, maybe nearly 500. For it to keep on learning, the computer power, and there are many issues also when we consider a machine that keeps on learning. Would the machine need to forget some information or not? Or would it need to keep all? That is why in AI, for a machine that have memory, because if I can quickly go to my earlier slide, ChatGPT is not, also has limited memory. Okay, wait, here. ChatGPT also have limited memory. It is able to think humanly. It is able to only that, but to make that such that it can keep on learning, self-learning, active learning, adaptive, update its model automatically, it'll be far away. That is human. That is human, and hopefully it stays there. I would like to invite maybe one more person to share. Any thoughts, please? I saw somebody putting up his hands. Dr. Ashraf.
Yes, no, Doctor, later we need your slides if you can. And number two, this is a very wonderful session. My concern is in Malaysia, we need to now think about how we can be the giver, not receiving end, creating these kind of things. Because as far as from 2018, the government is trying to instill in the society AI and all these things in teaching. But we need to see fast, where we create this kind of things, be ahead in the world. That's what I feel. That's what I feel. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That is valid and very important also to have something local, so that just imagine, besides the technology that we need to create to be able to adapt to our local requirements, we need to also consider the generated online data right now. I also don't know, maybe there is no finger snapping formula or immediate magic or mantra to let people to release good content and valid content only online. But because on the other end, we know that when we create something AI for our own, we need to make use of this local generated content. So when that happens, unfortunately, right now, content that is generated by people in Malaysia, there are many issues that are mundane issues. So if we create AI for education, especially to go back to auto teach us about our local context, we would be deprived with low quality insights and knowledge for now. But I agree with you. Companies that work on AI should be more, especially in Malaysia. You can find those information in the AI roadmap. The Malaysia AI roadmap, if you go to AI roadmap Malaysia, then you can see what the government has planned for the country, and the plan is until 2025. So hopefully the plan will be executable, although there are challenges. I happen to be in the committee as National Task Force for AI Roadmap Implementation. That is one of the reasons why I asked the center to create this, to take opportunity to at least educate educators and share. Today, I am pleased that we have changed many best practices and tips and formula. We are now collectively thinking that AI is disrupting us. We know it can create fake or misleading content. We can debate about the ways to regulate and govern this technology. We want AI for our own good, especially having local voices. So we need to continue to monitor and address the risks. Today could be the starting of many other platform or discussion or exchange like this. I will be pleased to offer, the slide is available at CADE's website. Mr. Azri, can you please put the link to this page? For your information, CADE stands for Center for Academic Development in UPM. We have many online webinar. We have many webinars that relates to education. We also do training in education. Dr. Salahuddin is going to deliver one workshop soon on ChatGPT. So you might find this information in our website and our social media, CADE. And usually all our information is available to be downloaded from our website. Even this video is available in YouTube. Feel free to download it and use it and distribute and make sure it is with responsible manner, that AI can benefit us as educators. So allow me to summarize a guide for educators. Hopefully also the guide on ChatGPT usage in teaching and learning that CADE has prepared can be distributed around. Feel free, at least that is local voice. Cik Azri, please upload again. Yeah? So guide for educators. A few key points to consider. AI can be used to personalize learning experiences for students. We need to adapt it. We as an educator need to adapt it to empower the students, to scaffold them according to their strengths, weaknesses, learning style, learning needs. AI can be used to assist in grading and providing feedback on student assignments. It can also be used to create interactive and immersive learning environments. So it is important for us to be aware of the potential ethical implications of AI use in education. This could be algorithm bias and user privacy. So to reduce algorithm bias, local voices, local requirements for AI need to be deposited. I bet you the Ministry of Education or many funders right now also, if you look around, many grants are along AI. So even you're not from AI or machine learning background, you can be the one that do research related to AI usage. What are the requirements of AI in your field? So you are contributing as well. As AI continues to advance and become more widely used in education, we as an educator need to stay up to date and share our best practices, work in a team. I use ChatGPT to come up with a poem. It's actually long, but I cut it here. ChatGPT in teaching and learning, a tool both friend and foe, a helper in the classroom, but also one to know. With words at its command, it can assist and guide, but also lead astray if not used with pride. In learning, it can aid, providing answers fast, but rote it cannot replace the understanding that will last. In teaching, it can save time and effort spent, but also raise concerns of what it represents. The future is uncertain. The future is uncertain. But one thing for sure, that GPT in teaching and learning will continue to be a lure. To use it or not to use it is the question we must weigh, for its benefits and drawbacks will shape the future in ways. So let us use it wisely to navigate the road ahead in teaching and learning. Because if we teach today's students as how we were taught yesterday, we rob them of tomorrow. These are my references. There could be many more that I forgot to include there. So that's all from me, Nurfadhlina Muhammad Sharef from Center for Academic Development, UPM. Thank you very much for making time. I hope that the session has been beneficial to you. Thank you also to new friends around. Hopefully that you would join other sessions conducted by CADe. Thank you very much. Take care.
Thank you, Doctor.
Welcome.
Well done, Dr. Fad. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Doctor.
Okay, thank you, Doctor.
Welcome.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Dr. Fad.